Lachlan said, "Undress for me. Let me see what's mine." Toxic much. He groaned from every kiss and touch, clenching his fist, brows drawn. Why does she want to sleep in my shirt? And why do I want it too? He ached. He needed to be inside her so badly. Here's another one. She rose to her knees before him, seeming hungry for something else entirely. Her uncovered breasts were plump and luscious, begging his palms to cup them. Lachlan, she purred his name. He shuddered, and his cock pulsed. He lunged for her. I know this is your cup of tea, Joseph. I can't understand why. Explain. Pause this video right now. Go and read A Hunger Like No Other by
Kresley Cole. And when you're ready, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
I held it. Like, I was reading. I was like, oh, it's back to me.
Yeah, I know.
But
right?
yeah.
The hot potato.
Yeah. But yeah, so this was the stereotypical vampire werewolf fantasy.
Yeah. Did you listen to you would listen to it, surely?
Yes.
Why do you always butcher the names, by the way? Like, it's like a running theme.
Lachlan.
It's Lachlan. Is it not Lachlan?
Probably.
See, this is why you're listening 4 times. Whatever.
Lachlan.
I'm just saying.
Alright, I thought it was Lachlan. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm
going to say
sure.
Lachlan, you can say Lachlan. We all know who we're talking about.
We know who we're talking about.
But yeah, do you want to go into your first point? Or no, let's just
talk about spoilers.
So, this book is not for men, but I would say if you're gonna try and get your boyfriend into this type of genre, then give him this book. The first half of it is a bit rubbish, but we get into the hero saves the whatever.
It's kind of tough though. We get through these things because we're making these videos. If I was reading this personally, I would have put it down.
Yeah,
before I got to any bits that I
half
looked at.
is terrible.
Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit of work to get into if you're doing it for leisure reasons. But what did you think about out of 5? What did you like? Foolishness.
He knows what we're doing, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But out of 5,
5 stars. You know, you like your little 5-star system.
I think it's better than A Court of Thorn and Roses.
Yeah.
I think it's better than that.
I'm struggling to think of something I enjoyed less than Court of Thorn.
Yeah, the first one.
Shocking.
Oh,
absolutely shocking.
That was a drag.
Shocking. We should just
at least
change the entire video.
This had some action in there.
Yeah,
it didn't have much, but it had a bit of action.
Yeah, let me go into my first point anyway.
How many you got, by the way?
8.
I got 6. So you
rape right off the bat. It's like when you really love a woman, that's what you do, right? Our main characters are werewolf Lachlan, leader of the Lycae clan, who's been trapped and tortured for centuries. Upon escaping his captivity, he's disgusted to find that the soulmate he has waited for millennia is one of nature's most foul, a vampire named Emma Troy. So he rapes her, of course. How else does a romance book get to trending, right? My thoughts on this have been well chronicled over the past few weeks. Let me skip the gratuitous slander and simply say this to you, Kresley Cole. Shame on you. Shame on you. It was so full on from the beginning. It was like the first chapter, it was like, Lachlan is trapped. And then he was like,
he just magically escaped.
Like Tai Lung. Like, we have no idea how this guy even got out. And then straight away, rape.
It wasn't.
And it was like for
it was sexual assault.
It was heavy. It was intense.
Put it in.
It was literally grievous
He
sexual assault.
just held her down. And
do you see what I'm saying? And
it's
like it wasn't because he didn't want to. He didn't not rape her because he didn't want to in the beginning. It was just like leading up. He wanted to make it better. He didn't want to
kill his mate. That's what.
Do you see what I'm saying? And he didn't want to. He was delayed gratification.
Because
it was just rape for like 3 chapters.
He didn't want to tear it open because he would have had to deal with it.
Exactly. It was like rape for like 3 chapters. For like 3 straight chapters. Ridiculous.
This interspecies lusting, or bestiality, if you will, is stereotypically hot, I assume, for women. We've seen it in Twilight, where we get a double dose of bestiality with Bella and Jacob, the werewolf, and also Bella and Edward, the vampire. Whore.
Double damage.
Wait, I didn't see that scene. Double penetration.
Right? I downloaded the wrong Twilight movie.
This one was on PH, Pornhub. But alas, a hunger like no other. Another tale where a fragile, untouched maiden meets a brooding, dominant alpha male. Beneath the surface, a familiar dance unfolds. Spirited innocence clashes with primal intensity. Yet the storyline remains as thin as a whisper. There was no storyline.
None.
They go on a journey to Scotland by car for some reasons unknown. This meandering voyage grants Lachlan and Emmeline endless hours in each other's company. I assume this is to foster a deepening connection with every passing mile. So yeah, he apparently couldn't drive and needed to take her up to his. I don't know
Up to
what
the
else
islands.
about, but
Yeah.
that dragged on for about half the book.
Oh, it
Every
was
day,
ages.
or traveling by night, going to restaurants. There was this weird. Yeah, that's my point. I'm gonna get into more after. But
Well, you know what they say, child psychologists say girls love toys that represent people and boys love toys that represent things, or they gravitate towards those things. So
Yeah.
it's like, if you're marketing a book for women, it's going to be more relationship oriented than it is plot oriented. If you're marketing a book for men,
Why
it's
can't
going to be
you
more
have
plot
both,
oriented.
though?
Because
is it too much work?
I think it's too much work. I don't think it's too much
Why
work.
can't
I
you
think,
just have them doing
I think
something,
both
though?
will interfere with each other, so you probably end up with nothing.
Like, we get one scene, because Emmeline was supposed to be in danger, remember?
Yeah.
Right? She was supposed to be in danger. Why?
That was her personality trait, in danger. That's who she was, in danger.
Yeah, but she was supposed to be in danger, and we got 3 vampires going after her, and Luckland dealt with them, right?
Yeah.
But it could have been more. It could have been like excommunicado, John Wick. He, she could have, wanted to be around him because he keeps her safe, sort of thing. But 9 times out of 10, the whole story was them in the car, him trying not to look at her legs while she's driving, or some rubbish like that.
Ridiculous.
Who likes legs anyway?
Say that. No, I'm unashamedly a leg man. Unashamedly.
Do you like arms too?
Well,
Do you like earlobes?
I don't. Yeah, nah.
Do
Come
you see
on,
what I'm saying? Where do we draw the line?
Yeah, there. That's where we draw the line.
I personally like eyelids.
I like elbows.
Ankles. Just showing ankles.
Oh, wait, did you go already? That was your.
Yeah.
You just did, it. All right. So how did Lachlan escape? Around 150 years ago, he was captured and imprisoned by vampires, and here's where the author ripped off the story of Prometheus, an old Greek legend about a man who angered Zeus and was subjected to torture to the brink of death every day. Obviously, being immortal, he couldn't die. So that's exactly the same thing that they did to Lachlan. Lachlan suffered a similar fate, but something awoke him and gave him energy to break his bondage and escape his fate. And that something was his soulmate's proximity. I really didn't feel like, especially this early in the book, it was explained very well how he escaped, where he escaped from, who he was escaping from. He just smelled boom boom, got plus 50 strength. And just,
Don't we all?
do you know what I mean? I was like, I could relate to that at least. But it was very slapdash, very haphazard. It was
Because it
just,
wasn't important to the story.
it wasn't.
They
So
just wanna
why
get
even
into the
have
lot.
it? Why even have the beginning bit where he was like,
He had to break
waking
his
up
leg
from
off. He had to bite his own leg off or some crap.
ridiculous, ridiculous.
Oh, I freed my arms and then I freed my legs and I bound out and he was on his mate within like 0.2 seconds.
See what I'm saying? Where did it even come from? Like, see some guy running it on all fours.
I don't know whether to run or turn around.
Oh, dead. Yeah, no, it was very slapdash for me, anyways.
Yet again, we encounter an all-powerful being fixated on a weak, fragile girl.
Yeah.
This time, a delicate yet alluring vampire. He desires her, believing her to be his destined mate, bound to him by an inexplicable soul connection. Their unsettling relationship is marked by a disturbingly paternal bedtime ritual. They have a creepy daddy-daughter routine. Every day, Lachlan undresses her, places her in the bath, occasionally joins her, where they have a finger-banging session where he touches her and makes her touch his length. Then afterwards, he gently tucks her into bed.
Yeah.
What?
It's very, very creepy.
What? Like,
Women,
what?
you got some ladies, you got a lot to explain.
But this is the thing. The fact that it's a book, fair enough if it's this fantasy, but the fact that it's a book means that it's a proper fantasy. Do you know what I mean?
It's mainstream.
It's crazy. I mean, we can't even really speak about this much before we get
Yeah,
banned. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
But you lot out there,
Yeah, you got a lot to
bloody
explain.
hell.
You actually got a lot to explain.
Bloody hell, women.
Jesus Christ. And men are looked at as the perverts of the world.
Do you
And this
know
is
what
what's
I mean?
going on. Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
Werewolves and vampires are natural arch enemies. They always are in classic literature. It's an unwritten rule in writing that one must respect that fact. He studied her at leisure, this creature he'd been deluded enough to believe was his. Brushing aside her thick blonde curls, he studied her high cheekbones and delicately pointed chin. He traced a finger over her pointed ear and it twitched under his touch. He'd never seen a being like her before, and her appearance set her apart from the seething male vampires with their red eyes, the ones he would exterminate one by one. Vile species. So there's a little sprinkling of racism in there, which is like in-world racism, obviously. And what's even worse is that me and Vampire, I'm getting judged by this rapist, murderer, abuser, and it's like, no, okay. But did she need to be a vampire? is what I was thinking at this point in the story, because she's so weak, she's so helpless, she may as well be a human at this point. And it's like she was, what was she, half vampire?
I forgot it. Valkyrie.
Half Valkyrie, half
But
vampire.
I think though she needed to be half vampire at least, because they wanted the sexual feeding of the blood on each
Right,
other.
yeah,
That was a bit different.
That was a bit. If you read some Vampire-Werewolf stuff,
Which I don't.
Exactly.
Which I don't.
But yeah, even worse than me, a vampire, I'm getting judged by someone who is a rapist, a murderer, and even worse, Scottish. But what was that? Yeah, there was a lot of people online who were like, they don't know how they feel about the Scottish accent.
I read reviews, and they loved the Scottish, and they loved the narration as well. Did you read it?
I don't know if I read the same one.
Why?
But
No. Did you read the book, or did you listen?
Oh no, I listened.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't really. I don't know what I felt. I mean,
in the PDF, sorry to cut you off. In the PDF, apparently it was written as if he had a Scottish accent, so the dialogue is written with him like mispronouncing words like a Scottish person would.
Yeah, cool.
And it's like,
well, that's probably
some people don't like that. Do you know what I mean? Some people don't like that.
Let me have the voices that I want in my head if I'm reading.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
readers say. Exactly. That's the point of reading. I want them to sound how I want them
I want it to sound like me.
As you cup her breasts. Her luscious breasts. I don't know what that's all about. What did she say? Her perky breasts were begging to be cupped. Is that what you do to breasts?
I'm not gonna lie, that's the rapiest thing I've ever heard. What do you mean they were begging?
I thought you empty yourself on them. That's what they call just cupping?
Unload. Yeah, no, 100%.
Do you want to go again? Because I've got three more.
I'll go again. Why can't Emmeline lie? As a vampire, is it Emmeline or is it Emmeline?
What's Emmeline?
Is it Emmeline? Wow, I messed up one for the first time. I'm just going to say Emma. As a vampire, Emma can't lie. If an untruth arose in her throat along with the impulse to speak it, she would become violently ill. I may be thinking too much about this, but why would evolution create a creature that couldn't lie? Are we in agreement that lying is an essential survival skill? I suspect this is just a plot device to give us some entertaining dilemmas, such as when Emma had to call her people and explain where she was. She basically had to be creative and pass her word, saying things like, I met a man, and no, I'm not drinking his blood. Things that were not technically untruths, but definitely weren't the entire truth. I don't know why you would... It just seemed like, just to give vampires a weakness, just for no reason. Because they're too strong, I guess, enough in them.
Well, they didn't seem that strong in this.
Well, she definitely didn't.
I mean, even other vampires, as I said, he took out 3.
Yeah, he literally
in
one
quick
popped them.
succession.
Quick succession, one
So,
popped
but I, as I said, I've got a point about. Yeah, I'll just say it now. I think the powers of the creatures need to be balanced better. We had Lachlan dismantle 3 werewolves with ease, so I thought, okay, Lachlan is a bad man. Then we had Lachlan get bodied by Emmeline's sisters, the Valkyries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, by the time he blinked, they had a sword to his throat and his nuts. Remember, like, you looked down, they were there, like,
bro,
he was completely outmatched.
Mm-hmm. Sword to the nuts. Now it's like...
You don't like a little bit of knife play? And then we had Demestru, who was supposed to be the Don Dada, get taken out by Emmeline. Yeah, that didn't make no sense. Like, they threw the plot down... Dada, then. They threw the plot down the drain with that. It was
the plot it's relationship oriented. It's relationship oriented, so it doesn't really matter what happens in the story. As long as they end up together, that's the main point.
Yeah, I guess so. Which was kind of badly done anyway, because we had 90% of the book, Emmeline was not happy, not wanting this. I mean, we had the 5% where nighttime ritual, where she kind of played along and did whatever, but she didn't want to be with him until the end, and then she just randomly decided.
Are you seeing how like these kinds of books reinforce like misogynist stereotypes and like set women up to believe that this is what love should be, where you get abused every single day of your life, you get slapped up in bed, a guy says things like, your body is begging for me to be inside. Like,
let me see unravel yourself, let me
do you not see what's mine? Like, Jesus Christ, I mean... Women can do things just as well as men can, even misogyny. So after a long weekend of rape, Lachlan decides that he wants to treat his soulmate by taking her to the most romantic place in the world, Scotland. During the drive, some young women of questionable morals try to get Lachlan's attention, much to Emma's annoyance. You know how it is, the old, he's not allowed to rape anybody but me, jealousy. Surprisingly, however, Lachlan's not interested. Which is really weird to me, because he was just like, I've been trapped for 150 years, I've not known the touch of a woman, and now he's turning women down. That doesn't make any sense to me. But surprisingly, however, Lachlan's not interested. Emma deduces the look in his eye as a defiant proclamation of, I'm looking at what I want, even though he never said that. So the point I made about women being misogynistic is that a lot of fantasies that they write and read don't empower women, rather they empower one woman and emphasise the degradation of the rest. What's more, they romanticise the idea of them being a thing to be taken, hoarded, and generally used for the purpose of pleasing a man. Incredibly unfeminist concepts. If I wrote this, I'd probably be on a list somewhere. There would be several subreddits devoted to my cancellation.
You would be on a list, your head would be on a spike.
Oh, on a spike.
But yeah, no, that is quite interesting, and I think that it's all down to capitalism. I think, you know, writers are all competing to be top spot, so they know that this genre works. I don't know how old it is or how old it's been or whatnot, but it works. So they're gonna keep doing it, and we're gonna keep reading.
Literally, people are gonna keep buying.
We're gonna keep
100%,
reading,
and the wheel turns.
So yeah, I mean, we're adding to this because I buy these books, you know.
Yeah, no, ridiculous.
So you know, I'll give it to the author. It is an interesting dynamic where the female lead rejects advances from a super attractive, powerful, muscular man. Usually, feelings are mutual. Lachlan goes as far as kidnaps and imprisons Emma in his house that is surrounded by 100 miles of land. He knows that sunlight is fatal to her as she's part of vampire, so it'd be impossible for her to cover that amount of distance through the night before the sun comes up. But here's why I give the author some respect. Maybe I'm toxic, but is Lachlan the good guy in the story? One thing is for certain, he definitely isn't painted out to be the bad guy, even with his sexual abusive tendencies. So am I just toxic, or is Lachlan the good guy still?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yes,
I think he's definitely, you're definitely supposed to believe that he is the good guy. He's supposed to be.
Because
I don't know if good guys.
They give him the trauma, which excuses his behavior.
It justifies his behavior. I don't necessarily think good guy is the right term to use, because good guy is not a desirable trait for women. It's not in the same way that we think it is. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think, I don't know what the term for them would be, but like good guy is probably the closest thing we could think of to use anyway, so I'll probably just use that. But I definitely don't think that women look at a desirable mate and think he's so good, he's such a good guy. Like, good guys are over here, the other guys over here. Do you see what I'm saying? So there was, not to get off topic too much, but there was a chain on Twitter the other day that I saw, and this woman said, this guy put, am I the asshole for thinking that this woman is insulting me? She said, you're not the type of guy I would hook up with. You're the type of guy I would marry and like give my life to. And he said, I was insulted. And like there was loads of men in the comments saying, yeah, she's insulting you. And there was like loads of women saying, how could this possibly be an insult? She said, you're not like a one-time thing. But basically what they're saying is that women put the good guy over here, the guy that they would marry over here for stability, for companionship over here, and then the guy that they lust for over here. So that's the concept, right?
Yeah.
And I think this camp is the camp Lachlan's in.
Yeah.
He's not the good guy, he's not the guy you'd marry, he's the guy that you're lusting for right now.
So what he's saying is he's the guy you'd fuck. He didn't say no. Lachlan.
5 stars. 5-star book. 5 stars, man. My nipple's hard. Lachlan learning what a car is. The trope of guy from the past hilariously reacts to modern day inventions is a banker. It never fails to amuse, and the author didn't make the mistake of missing out on it. Upon inspecting their car's gear shift, Lachlan remarks that driving seems more complicated than it really is, and if the letter D stands for drive, I'm going to lose it. It was funny. I felt like the author was taking a little dig at automatic drivers, which I don't know if you found that funny or whatever.
No, I didn't. No, my car's automatic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No, but you know what's funny? You say you drive your car's automatic, but you learn manual, so you're not automatic driver. There's people that learn automatic.
Yeah.
In their lessons or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, he was like, if the letter D stands for drive, I'm going to lose it. And it was just like, he was like, nothing, all of this it's not as complicated as it really seems.
Well, do you know what? I'll give it to you. That was a good point, because I did actually quite enjoy looking at the world through the eyes of somebody who hasn't been used to technology. So, I mean, even when you get these guys on death row or whatever, who've been in for 25 years and they come out and they see there's iPads, but they see a self-checkout and they're like, but wouldn't everybody just run out? Like, who's going to pay? Like, they just don't get it. Yeah, they just don't get it. So it was interesting when he said something along the lines of, I think I can't remember what it was, but it was like satellites. He was talking about satellites. He didn't understand it and this, that, and the other. But yeah, it was an extra layer to the story.
Yeah,
which was good.
Exactly, it gives us the kind of feeling of what it would be like if we could travel 150 years into the future and see the kind of stuff that they might have. It kind of feels like that, which I appreciated. I only have one left, by the way.
Oh, is it? I've got 2. How did that happen?
That's impossible. Impossible.
I lied. That's what I wanted to finish. I always like to finish last.
I like to finish first. And then go to sleep.
As soon as you finish it,
Like a light.
Wait, I might have 3, you know.
Oh, what's going on here then?
Wait, I got 3.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
Unless
I said this already. No, I
said
got
one
2.
already.
No,
Yeah,
because I went.
Yeah, you said
forward.
one already.
I don't think the story is that bad. There are obviously instances of blatant indoctrination. For example, he says he knew he loved her because his heart ached. So according to your book, if your heart aches for somebody, then that means that you love them. It's definitely not lust.
It means you need medical attention. Stat. That's what it means.
But once the book warmed up and we could actually find the plot, i.e. save Emma as she was kidnapped by Demetri, the book isn't that bad, and I actually started to enjoy the scenes and to see what happened.
Second half is definitely better than the first half.
Nice.
And
you could just get rid of the first half.
If I would
literally
I would much rather read a book like this for the channel where I know I'm going to actually get to the good parts because we have to make the video about it, rather than read it for my own personal reasons, because I would have put it down a long time. So it really does have to be, you kind of have to be into this kind of genre. I think it would be a much more enjoyable
But no
experience.
one's saying, are you into this genre?
I don't think so, you know. I mean, Vampire-Werewolves, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
100%.
That's the genre. That is
100%.
the genre.
Fair enough then. If that's the genre, then 100% I would say so.
You like it, good.
100%. One for the wank bank. I've just realised this author is cheating. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Or at least the first half was anyways. Are you allowed to get away with that? The details are different, but the core is the same. Star-crossed lovers who start out as enemies. The dainty maiden is taken prisoner by the savage beast who learns to appreciate him even after kidnapping and abusing her. It's Beauty and the Beast! Maybe it's because I'm not smart enough with my plagiarism, but I would never get away with this, writing a book about a boy with magic powers called Parry Otter, who goes to school at Slugworths. You would never get away with this. I think she just changed some of the details of Beauty and the Beast, and fair enough, maybe that story's in the public domain, so you can actually get away with that.
I've never read it.
You never read Beauty and the Beast?
I've never read it. I've never watched it. I mean, I know what happens.
You know what happens in it.
Yeah.
You know vaguely there's a Beauty and a Beast in there at least, but it's a retelling of the story. I think maybe that's probably a thing writers do. I've never done it personally. And if it's in the public domain, you can absolutely get away with it. But, yeah.
It's what it is, you know.
It's what it is.
And to my last point. Finally, Demetrius' death scene. I didn't understand it. Did you? It was made apparent that he wanted to die. Why? It was a bit random. A bit convenient for our main character, Emma. Our useless main character, Emma. After Emma impaled him with a sword, he then instructed her to finish him off by dismembering his head and limbs, otherwise he'll be able to regenerate. What was that all about? Why did Demetri, who's the bad man that locked up and tortured Lachlan, how did he get slain by Emma? Like, it didn't make any sense.
They needed her to do something, didn't it? They needed something for her to do.
They needed Lachlan's people to respect her.
Yes.
And they needed him to wrap up his need for revenge. Because
Yeah,
he wanted to go
loose
get
ends.
revenge,
Yeah.
and she didn't want him to and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about the book overall? It wasn't terrible,
I'd give it 2 stars.
but we gave a
2 stars.
quart of Thorn of Roses.
We don't say we. We're not French.
We gave
You gave a quart of roses. We're not Venom.
I
You
didn't want us.
gave-
I didn't want to get hate by giving it 1 star, so I said, you know, let's give it a 2. I might have gave the first one 1.
You didn't want to get hate
I think I
mail.
gave the first one 1, the second one 2.
The first one should get 0.
Yeah, no.
The second one should get like 2.
The second
should get
one 2. Second one got 2.
This one, you could maybe, if you want to be nice, promote it to 3 stars. Maybe, but I wouldn't. I would say 2.
All right. Do you know? Okay. So, do you think we should read a good Vampire-Werewolf?
Yeah, you can find one.
Then.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I've never read a good one before. I'm just joking because I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll look into that. I mean, we've got a book for next week, and I just can't remember what it is.
You sent me.
No,
the thing and then
I've changed my mind.
Oh, is it? Good thing I didn't look at it.
Yeah.
I've never seen
I
it.
changed my mind. It is. I'll just tell you what it is before we end. Oh, it's The Housemaid. The Housemaid is watching. Have you not seen these?
Housemaid is
Seen
watching.
these? You ain't seen this cover anywhere. It's
No.
been very, very popular.
Fair
People
enough.
are loving it.
I look forward to
it's
it.
a new installment. It came out a couple months ago.
Housemaid is watching. So yeah, what did you think? 2 stars? Are we in agreement?
Yeah, it was the first half of the book. If not for the first half of the book, I would have given it to them. I'd have said, yeah, we can go 3 stars. We can go 3 stars. But the first, it was such a drag. It was such a drag. We didn't need to see that much.
It was hard work to get through as well.
Yeah, but yeah, it's funny that even terrible non-fiction books are still easy listening compared to like non-fiction books.
You know you're gonna learn something from the non-fiction books.
You what you said didn't connect to what I said.
You said easy listening from the fiction books.
Yeah, it's easy
Yeah.
fiction. Yeah, so like sometimes even good non-fiction books, I listen and I have to pause just for like 5 minutes to collect my thoughts, sort of thing. Whereas these, I can just let them run. I'll let them run, listen to it and whatnot.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Fiction's always just going to be easier to listen to because you ain't got to think or whatnot.
You're just collecting the story, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's time to end.
Yes. Do you have a
Do you
quote
want to end with the quote of the day?
don't
We need
worry
to start
about
doing that. You know?
We actually
Because
start doing it
remember, our most watched short is a quote.
Alright, let's... Yeah.
So
I'm gonna find
now
one
subs
for...
we're missing out on.
Yeah, I know,
Do you know
right?
what I mean? So we got to take it seriously. And even question of the day that we were supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even have one. You're terrible. You're a joke.
Shocking.
Bloody disgrace. But yeah, till next time.
Till next time.